Hello, it's Hannah, and you are listening to No Longer Legally Detained, the podcast about life after the psych ward, answering the big question, how to navigate being an adult when you never expected to be one. It's Monday, it's Monday Mornings with Millie.
Join us every Monday to catch up on our week, tackle a new craft and talk all things drama school. Good morning, everybody.
Morning! Happy Monday!
Happy morning. Happy
What
Millie.
a pointed toe.
I know.
That is...
I'm a ballerina.
That is ballet.
That is ballet. Full stop. Hello, everyone. Today, we are back together to discuss
forever.
loneliness.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's iconic.
We both wanted to do an episode on loneliness.
Much to laugh at, I'd forgotten.
Yeah. I went, well, Hannah, you wanted to do the episode on loneliness, and she was determined she didn't. And then I reminded her that actually she did.
Yeah. And you know what? I was gracious in my mistake.
Were you?
Yeah.
You went, oh yeah, I wanted to do it on loneliness. Like I hadn't been saying loneliness.
Yeah, but I didn't
I was
like...
speaking a foreign
Yeah, but
language.
I didn't cry, did I? And storm out. So I think that's improvement from the rejection sensitive dysphoria. Okay. Anyway, lonely.
Let's go.
Are you lonely?
Right, that's... We've gone straight in for the kill there, haven't we?
Sorry. Right.
I was just going to say, like, we're not doctors, obviously, or, like, psychologists, or actually have done any qualification in psychology. Well,
No.
actually, no, you probably have got something behind you.
An introduction to counselling level 1 course.
Exactly where you are.
Which is nothing.
But we're just here to talk about loneliness on an us level, aren't we?
On a
really?
personal, on a, friend basis.
On a friend basis, and just...
Between friends, amongst friends, as if we were all right now
friends.
in a tent.
in a
Chilly.
teepee.
Yeah.
With
fairy lights.
With fairy lights and a singing bowl.
Okay, I'm not feeling the singing bowl personally, but
A little drum.
and some...
I was watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians the other day. Kourtney Kardashian had her baby and Travis, her husband, was playing the drums, and she was like, I find the sounds of drums just so relaxing. And I was like,
Each to their own, but...
would not like... If I was giving birth, that's not for
I don't
me.
want to give birth, though.
The idea of giving birth does sound quite tough, but...
Not lonely, because everybody's there.
Left, right and centre. Anyway, that was a detour, wasn't it?
It was.
Misconceptions of loneliness. I'm going to start with this.
Go on, then.
There's a difference between being lonely and alone.
Yes, there is.
And I think people think, oh, if you're alone, you're lonely. But actually, alone time is good for everybody. And independence is good for everybody. And you can actually be surrounded by people and feel lonely.
Yeah, it's a big... I think, to be fair, it's becoming more talked about, isn't it? Especially in young people, I think there's like this concept... Well, and not just young people, and old people are actually quite mixed. Started off with, the elderly generation during COVID.
What loneliness in old people more common? That's what the question was.
And I think that came up with COVID. I think, although not that they weren't lonely before, but I think people maybe started thinking, I feel like, are you laughing at the lonely old people?
It's just not that they weren't lonely before.
But
no.
It was highlighted, which in some ways was good because it was highlighted. Then people know about it. Can help.
Yeah. But it's not just old people.
No, that's us. If it was just about old people, we wouldn't be the best people to ask.
Well, you would be. Just
You know what? I actually completely knew you were going to say that. As soon as it came out of my mouth, I thought, here comes the age joke.
You can relate to a certain somebody now, can't you?
Hashtag
ageism.
Hashtag ageism. But on a serious note about loneliness
Is debilitating.
Yes. It's such an interesting concept. You know what? And I hadn't thought about loneliness until I did like a research interview for someone's like PhD thingy. They talk to people. I had not thought about loneliness in the way that it is.
Yeah. That was your interview is what inspired this episode.
It was. It was that, and then Millie moving out of Manchester.
Yeah.
And becoming...
Before we started this, Hannah goes, you start this one, Millie the Lonely.
You know, a bit like, you know when they call, what do you call, like, in the past, in the history, we talked about this yesterday, history versus geography. Me and Millie were history, Katie was geography. Anyway, detour. But you know when they had, like, you know, Richard the Great?
Yeah.
Millie the Lonely.
You know, I got where it though. I didn't need that fix.
Oh,
I don't think I need any of it explaining to me. I think I know where it's coming from.
But what?
Loneliness.
You know what? I nearly barked then.
What, like a dog?
Yeah. Or bar like a sheep. I don't know.
Right.
I had a real urge come over me.
For an animal sound.
Right. Misconceptions about loneliness.
Misconceptions.
The big one, we just said, was you can be... What does loneliness feel like to you?
I think it's like isolation, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just really getting drama school flashbacks when you ask me what does loneliness
Sorry.
feel like to you. No, because in one of the auditions they were like, what does jealousy feel like to you? And it's like black mold coming up your throat, and it's like that.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, exactly.
That's horrific. I didn't enjoy that imagery at all. How many times do you think you felt loneliness?
Once. And it's still going. No, jokes.
I don't know where that question came from.
No, I know.
It just came out of my mouth.
I just think it's quite a common feeling, isn't it? That's why we're here to talk about it. Is because, and also it's quite hard to like get that that's what it is sometimes. Sometimes you're like you can't quite put your finger on what it is, and then you're like, oh.
So I'm interested to discover about myself and loneliness through this conversation.
Okay.
Because I don't know really.
Let's go then. Right, let's talk about periods of I've put periods of loneliness because I feel like one of the things that I've found it's good to acknowledge is that loneliness comes and goes, and it's a bit like lots of things. What are you doing?
It comes and goes. Like it just felt like I don't know. It felt like a something to me.
It felt like a teepee with a singing bowl.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. We are going to insert a picture of the drawing that Hannah has done of me being lonely.
Yeah. Wait, I think I need it. It needs a few tears.
Oh, okay. I'm not actually a very lonely person. I just like to point that one out as well.
No, I think everyone experiences
loneliness.
100%. And it also, I think it's annoying me. I keep saying that, but I'll move on.
Quickly, please.
Quickly. It's...
How could you feel lonely in a bed full of jelly cats?
Well, I didn't feel lonely. I'm not Millie the Lonely.
Right, anyone who's listening to this who knows me, who is now desperately concerned with my mental health, just gonna put it out there. Not actually that lonely. I think I think loneliness has come up for me a lot in this year in terms of having lots of change and moving away from friends and creating new friends and then having to move away from them. So I do think it's now is the time for loneliness. I think that's what...
What do you mean now is the time for loneliness?
I mean, like, now is the time... If I was going to feel loneliness in my life...
Yeah.
Now, with all the change and moving here and there, it would be the time... Like, it's not like, oh my God, it's not shocking that one might feel loneliness.
One might feel loneliness. That was...
Hannah might feel loneliness.
I definitely felt loneliness. Because I think I looked back now and it's that thing of... What?
Sorry, no.
You know what? You've got to edit this, you know. Okay, 3, 2, 1, focus. It's not... I would say lonely... Oh, this is not good for someone with a stutter. Loneliness is something that isn't about necessarily the people, it's about the connection with the people.
So true.
I think it's that thing I definitely like, and autistic people and like neurodivergent people talk about the idea of being lonely in a room full of people and that idea of just like not feeling like you belonging.
Belonging, yes.
And I think until like this year, like kind of, you know, obviously like friends, you know, whatever in life, but and it was this year, like obviously when I made friends with like Millie and Katie and stuff, it was that thing of like, it was that I felt really no longer felt lonely because like we had a real connection. That sounds really like literally we're TP in the garden right now, but like that thing of knowing that like someone, also that thing of like someone who just cares about the irrelevant parts of your life. Like for me, that's
bold assumption there.
Oh,
don't do that. No, I do care about
thank you. Like I think loneliness looks different for different people.
No. Yeah,
it's hard to know. I think you said before, but not been a bit. Sorry, moment. Like the idea that you don't always know it is loneliness. Like because loneliness, I guess, isn't an emotion in itself. Like loneliness brings other emotions with it.
It's like a catalyst, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a cause of other emotions.
And then the emotion is the effect.
Yeah.
But I think, like, well, as I was kind of saying before, but I don't know whether that's actually going to have made it into the episode, frankly. Talking about, like, when I felt lonely, and, you know, Hannah calling me Millie the Lonely, now is kind of the time, because I think there are key times when you're going to feel lonely in your life, and I think moving away from home and moving away from friends and family is going to be the times that you feel lonely. And I've done a lot of that, so sure, call me Millie the Lonely, Hannah.
I can't be lonely with these gastro problems. My stomach's making really loud noises.
She's never alone. The
Never
voices
alone.
in her head keep her company.
Okay. That's what they say I've got. Or maybe they say I'm not playing with a full deck. I don't want to get any copyright infringement. But yeah, loneliness is such a... It's weird. I think loneliness can also come from, like, you feeling out of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like when there's, like, a disconnect between who you are yourself and like, understanding and knowing.
And I guess just, like, as we grow and change, like, who we are grow and changes, and then also how our relationships with other people grow and change, and with that, connections come and go, and with people being in maybe different physically apart, but also like just in different parts of like their lives in terms of like mentally, you then can kind of feel a bit like, oh, I'm not quite sure where I fit in right now.
Yeah.
And like, as I say, like making friends as an adult is like tricky, isn't it?
Tricky.
But there's
and weird.
Tricky and weird, definitely. But I think there is so much more now spoken about when it comes to that. And I think, like, I know for me, actually, it's not about having someone with me all the time, but it's about having different people that fill different parts of my life.
Yeah.
And I was saying this to my mum the other day. I was like, it's really weird. I say, because like, it's not just the fact that I've like got specific friends, but it's the fact that I've got people that fill different parts of my life.
Yeah.
And like, who like will just listen to the inane waffle that comes out of my mouth, or like who enjoy different bits that I enjoy, and who like it just feels really chill with. And I think that's the biggest thing, like for me, and obviously again it's different, but like the loneliness feels less because the people who I am hanging out with, I can be myself around and feel really safe and comfortable. So therefore, it's like when I'm with them, it's not like not in a bad way, but like obviously not draining your battery. So therefore, I think that can also add to loneliness because you feel like, oh, I just don't. I think a lot of loneliness comes from belonging. I don't know what you think.
And I think that's the interesting thing about like, that idea of belonging, and then also when you feel like you understand, when you feel comfortable with yourself and who you are, that's when you no longer feel lonely when you're alone, kind of thing.
Yes.
Because if you could accept yourself for who you are and let yourself fill some of those spaces, then you know you're not just relying on other people. And obviously, at some like, you do have to, you can't just do it alone. You can't just do
definitely
life
not.
alone. But, you know, it's appreciating your own
times as well, and like using
your own
those.
company.
Definitely. I think that's such a big thing. That idea that to not be lonely doesn't mean you can never be alone.
Yeah.
Actually, you need to be alone because at points, because actually that's healthy, and also like, you know, but I think that idea of actually it doesn't necessarily, it's not about necessarily about the time spent with other people. It's about when you are spending it with other people and when you're spending it by yourself, how that time feels.
Yeah. It's more of a feeling than like a state of being, isn't it?
What was I going to say? I had a point about loneliness just then. It was like in the tip of my tongue. Go on, while I'm thinking, it'll come back to me. Tips and tricks that
Tips
you've
and
done
tricks
for
about
loneliness.
Acknowledging that it is loneliness. And also, like, it's not a sad thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not sad. Well, it is sad to be lonely, but, like, I mean, it's not like,
I guess
what a loser.
Yeah, and also I guess it's not against anybody who's in your life.
Yeah, no.
As well, I think that thing of it can be difficult because when you say like, "Oh, I'm lonely," and people be like, "Hello," but actually,
I'm here.
It's not. I think probably loneliness. A lot of it comes from yourself, actually,
Yeah.
and that's not in a bad way. It's that idea that loneliness kind of comes from within you, and that's not that means that you're the only person who can deal with it. But obviously, like, it's how when you're spending time with other people, are they people that fulfill you and like add things to your life, in not as in them doing things for you, but like that thing of how do they make you feel, like that adds to the loneliness. Whereas you could have someone who is really great, but if you're just not vibing, and then you can still feel lonely.
Yeah, exactly. I think, like, yeah,
And
and
not-
talking to people and getting out there and trying to remind yourself that actually you're not alone. Like, get outside, because I think it's quite interesting. You like watch everyone else living their little lives, and like sometimes that can make it a bit existential and a bit worse. But actually, sometimes I just think like,
and also I guess that thing of like, in reality, like I think there's definitely can be that like idea that, you know, everybody has loads and loads of friends, and actually they don't. Like,
no,
and actually having, you know, one or two really close friends is so much better than having, you know, 50 million acquaintances. And that thing that actually you'll have lots of people in your life who serve different purposes, and that's okay. And you're not going to have your best friend relationship with everybody you meet, but you don't need to.
Yeah, no. And it's like a quote I saw the other day about social media, which is, don't compare your... It really was just on the tip of my tongue. I knew what it was and now it's gone.
That is a key. That is...
Don't compare your... I've got it.
Okay.
Don't compare your backstory to somebody else's highlight reel.
Yes, so true.
Because you're comparing what you see on people's social media of them having a really happy, fulfilled, lovely life. Obviously, hoping everybody's having a happy, fulfilled, hopeful life.
They are, and in equal measures, people are having the rubbish that
mental
comes
breakdowns.
with it. You know, like, I think just as simple as, like, you know, we've come to here for my birthday, like Millie and Katie came over. We've had some really amazing times, taking some cute pictures. I also had a complete autistic meltdown on a hill. Did we photograph that bit? No, because that would be a little bit sadistic. But and that's not because we're hiding that part of the day.
You saw the pink picnic.
Didn't see the meltdown.
Didn't see the meltdown.
Because obviously, if I'm having a meltdown and they get the phone out, that would just be odd, wouldn't it? And I think that is an important thing to remember, that, you know, it's not all aesthetic and how it looks, but also that, and there are places to like make connections. And I think, like, I know that I didn't really have, for the past couple of years, I think due to like having like been in hospital and like not really doing anything particularly, I didn't really have any kind of friends or people who I connected with. And actually, when you're really looking, it's a bit like relationship. When you're really looking for something, it doesn't necessarily happen because can be looking in the wrong places, you're putting in too much. And I think it's interesting that, especially with my friendship with Millie, it was bizarre. Like, it is kind of crazy how it just happened. And like,
it did just happen.
It did just happen. Neither of us were necessarily looking for this to happen. That sounds really odd, but you know what I mean? And the idea that...
It's like we're in love.
We're not. Only platonically.
Only
friendship.
off the podcast.
That's only off the podcast. It's not that kind. I think, like, and our friendship didn't... It wasn't that, like, the first day we met, we weren't like, right, Millie, would you like to be my best friend now? And Millie was like, do you want to be my best friend? And then we went off into the sunset holding hands. And not that I know most people realise that isn't how it works, but I think there can be that kind of... You can find, like... like, that kind of real... And that, I think
the expectations lead into the loneliness, don't
Definitely.
they? Because you're thinking, like, I've got to find someone who completely gets me, who telepathically we communicate. And
that like the same things I like want to do the same things.
Actually, the thing is you're probably not going to find that.
No.
Because that doesn't really exist.
No.
Also, if you find someone who's too similar to you,
That's
most of the time
you don't get on. Definitely not.
That's slightly sadistic, isn't it?
Yeah.
I always think that when I meet someone, I'm like, I don't really like you, but I think it's because you're very much
like me. You do need a bit of chalk and cheese to really. And I think that idea that also you have different people, it is that thing of like, it sounds weird, but you have different people that fulfill different needs. And actually, like, I think for us, like, obviously we met at drama school, the idea that we were both there for a different purpose, and like we had like common interests. As we got to know each other more, we realised we had more and more common interests, and like it just slowly kind of blossomed. Sounds, you know what I mean? But like, I think, and like, whereas like I know that also in my life, like, I've got my mom, and I've got Millie, and I've got Katie, and then I've got the dog, I've got my jelly cats, I've got other people who I won't name for, but like there's so many other people like they all have different... I don't have another Millie in my life, but I don't need or want another Millie in my life. Like, she is exactly what I could have ever asked for, but like, and that for me...
Yeah, guys.
And you know, that thing of like, we live obviously really far apart. We're about to go and do 2 different courses in 2 different parts of the country.
Well,
slightly. I mean, they are...
2 different parts of London.
You're not quite in London.
No,
you don't have a London postcode, and you don't get a London maintenance loan. Sorry, it's a touchy subject.
Okay.
But
that's okay, because... No, I don't have to hike 6 hours to come and get you. Come and get you.
No, come and get me,
see
that's
you.
fine. But actually, I know that even just like Snapchatting Millie, like, we literally Snapchat every day. Sometimes it's deeper than others, but like that thing of just not even saying, like, I know that for me, that really helps my loneliness, knowing that like I can wake up in the morning.
And we're also on very different sleep schedules, aren't we?
Different.
So
and that
we're
works.
waking up. It does work because we wake up to...
Because I wake up to a load of messages from Millie,
and
Millie, when
6 hours later,
she gets I get a reply, and that thing of like just being honest, like, it sounds bizarre, like it really does sound weird, but one of the things that's really helped me, and obviously again it's going to be different, is like just sending Millie Snapchat videos. She's not like, and I'm like, you don't even get her like her response, but that feels really...
I do respond.
Yeah, she does
like
respond.
not
No,
like
I mean,
a live...
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's not like, yeah.
No, I don't mean you don't ever
meant.
respond. Just I've sent you like, an infinite...
I mean, it is rare when I respond. Not to Hannah, actually.
No, you're very good. But then, and then I can watch like Millie's videos, and like it's just... Like, and that really fills me up, like, honestly. And yeah, what we both send each other probably on the scale of things is utter rubbish. But for me, that fills such a loneliness gap that...
Yeah.
And like...
And it's nice to have someone to like share your day with, isn't it?
We literally do share like our days with each other.
And it's cute.
It is cute. And I think... And obviously, not that wouldn't work in everybody's friendship, but it's those little things that... You know, we don't have to be living in each other's pockets every single day to be filling each other's cups up. There's I can't even find my phone, but there's like...
It's probably buried under
all my paper. I've been doodling. I've no idea where it is. That's really stressful. Anyway, that was there.
Somewhere.
I found it. There's quite a few places now that create like communities, and I think that is a big thing of like being part of a community, and that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be best friends with everyone in your community, because you're not going to be. But like, even just going to clubs and just being around people, even if it's just
clubs as in like extracurricular,
yeah, no, not nightclubs.
Clubs.
Sorry,
that.
Like,
just clarify.
Like, you know, if you're into, I don't know, football, like joining a football club, or if you're into art, doing art somewhere, or even just like going to the shop and getting your stuff and just like being around people can sometimes, that's not the only answer, because you're going to need to obviously, but like that idea that I think when we're very much in our own bubble, being surrounded by other people can sometimes help. Or even like working in a cafe, like especially if you work from home every day, just like going to a cafe and doing, you know, an hour's work there while you're having something to eat and drink.
I found that since moving home, having my work has been kind of a lifesaver in terms of I'm going into the office most days, and I've got like my little community around me of people that I've known for the past 5 years. Do you know what I mean? But even new people, and just chatting to them and seeing, and just being in an area, because one of the days I worked from home and I just thought, this is hell. I want to be with people. So, and
there are things, and obviously, you know, it's all about safety again, like, you know, make sensible and safe choices in life, don't meet up with people you don't know, etc, etc. However, there are, you know, apps like the Solly app, which is for girls and women, and it's like a 24-hour advice and support. Like, it's just basically people who women around the country who just like say things, support each other, and there's other like peer support groups and things like that. And I know like who I was doing something with a group of autistic people about kind of like loneliness, especially when it comes to like neurodivergent people, and that idea that a lot of them are in like Facebook groups, or like, is it Reddit?
Yeah.
Like in a kind of
is it Reddit?
Like, again, like, they don't know the people and they don't meet up with the people, but like they have people who they, you know, communicate with on areas of their interest. And I think that definitely that having different people in different spaces and not relying on one person, I think that's really important, because that's a lot of pressure on somebody else, and also what, you know, you don't know what's going to happen. So having your eggs in lots of different baskets of like finding people and things that fill you up, that allows you to have that kind of buffer, because we all know as like people, we have our own days where we're not feeling up for it, or we do whatever, and if you're relying on just one person to completely, that's not sustainable.
No, it's not.
But equally, the fact that you don't need to have, like, be in this, you know, we look back at, like, secondary school or, like, the classic American high school where, like, there's a popular group of people who've got, like, you know, 15 people in a big sorority group.
But what you'll notice about them is when everything starts going wrong, they never actually have somebody.
Exactly.
And that's really sad, actually.
It is, no, definitely. And I think, actually, in real life, that's not how friendship looks like. That's not how relationships look like. And that's learning like how it works for you, and like looking at, and that thing of like, also, you know, you can get on with people but they don't have to be your best friend. Like, I think that's definitely when it comes to like uni, work, that kind of thing, is like you can be on a course or in a place with people and you can get on with them, but that doesn't mean you're all going to be best friends forever. But you might find one or two people within that who, you know, you really click with, and that's great. But also that thing of, you're not going to necessarily find that in every single space, but that's okay. And it's like just being able to rub along with people and be tolerant, and like meeting and being able to say, letting go. I think a big thing for loneliness is being able to let go of people and know that you will find others.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I think you can sometimes be in a group or in a relationship, and that's not just like any kind of relationship with people, and you know that it's not the best thing for you, but the fear that you want to stay because what happens if you don't find anybody else? But you still feel really lonely in that relationship because it's not working out, and that thing of having the power.
I think that, again, it comes back to like the feelings about yourself, and if you value yourself, then you will end up feeling less lonely, because, I mean, it's not going to solve everything, but you will feel less lonely within yourself, but also less lonely from other people, because actually you don't need their validation to make you feel like a decent human being.
Yeah, I think it is that thing of my mum used to always say, or still probably would say, we haven't had that conversation recently, about being able to be happy within yourself and like happy within your own company. And then from that,
yeah,
like comes all the other things. And like, if you can't sit with yourself, then that's really hard.
Yeah.
And that you might not be able to at the moment, and that's okay, and that's something you can work on. It doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah. So that was our little ramble about
Loneliness.
Yeah.
Hopefully that was something that was able to be listened to. We'll see if Millie, when you edit it. But yeah,
the bloopers will not be making it in because they're about 3
days worth of bloopers. But if you are feeling lonely, see who you can reach out to, see what you can do. And if you've got any tips for loneliness, do let us know and we can share them. I think it's lots of different ways that people deal with it, and I think it's important that we share the love.
Share the love. Where is the love?
If you've enjoyed, please like, share,
why is
follow.
All of the... I'm just...
You're very singing.
Yeah.
I feel very singing. You're really emptying it today. Musical get all the way. Yeah. Follow, like, share. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for being here. Bye.
Bye.